Aansluitend niet.
Nee, volgens mij niet.
Maar daar is geen duidelijkheid over. Hebben verschillende mensen me gevraagd en hoe laat dan de Saoede is enzovoort. Het is prettig als er
Moet je de baas vragen?
Ja, dat vraag ik.
Bij zaken doen jullie echt weer koffie?
Nee,
Nee, wil niet.
nee, ik heb dit zo'n omzaken te doen, dus dat moet ik.
Ik mag geen koffie drinken.
Jullie hebben net ook een koffie.
Oké, aardig standaard. Je kan een speculatie eten hier.
So for Joseph, they don't know me, and what's your name? Sorry, David.
Robert Samson.
So I'm David. Like I told you, I come from Brazil.
Ja.
En was is dat zo? U woonde de voetbal?
No, we
The
both
son-in-law
lose in the
of,
World Cup
Danny
already, so it's
Sterren.
fine.
Hoe ja?
We are
Schoonzoon
in the
van
same
Danny
day.
Sterren.
Ja.
They know.
You know my father-in-law
Of course.
Yes, I know.
from the Obrecht?
No, not from Robert, from here. I
From
think.
here,
Yeah, he's also.
he was allowed. Now he's not allowed anymore.
Because he's teaching.
Yes.
He's only the morning normally, no?
Yes.
What is twice in the week? How many?
Twice, Monday and Wednesday morning. And
Very good.
when he was the boss,
He could go out.
he
But
could go out once in 6 weeks, but now.
yeah, it's much hard.
Yeah.
Very nice. And do you live here in the area?
Yes, we have. I'm outside in the suburb, Amstelveen. You are also.
He's
You
from
are
Suriname.
Amsterdammers.
You Amsterdam?
Yes, but I'm from South America too.
You're from South America.
Suriname.
Suriname. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. It's a part of Holland, so it's not called South America. A joke, you get it. It's a nice place.
It's in the 80s it became a real South America country.
Yeah. Well, economy or what?
The military killed people for the first time in the history of Suriname.
Who was the military there? It's not Holland?
No, they had their own army.
Yeah, they have their own army even today.
Even today.
So why is called there is connect to Holland in which
Out colony.
out colony?
Colony.
But this means something like when I say colony to.
It's not. It's no more a part of Holland.
No.
In 74 they become totally
Independent.
separated.
But they still speaking Dutch there, no?
Yes, of course.
That's the only thing there.
Till now.
And if you want to move from there to live here, it's easier?
It's easier.
Okay.
Not easy, but easier.
Yeah. Understand. Okay. So because we have the Sefer Torah, I was looking at a few things. Like we normally know the mitzvah to make a Sefer Torah, to write down a Sefer Torah, a mitzvah, and the people make. There's a big mitzvah they have. So I was looking a little bit deeper. How is the mitzvah's work? Where is it? When is we have the mitzvah? From where is coming the mitzvah? So I make a few printers.
She's coming.
She go to bring another one to have 4, but we got to see a little bit about the Mitzvah Ksiva Sefer Torah. So until she bring the other copy, I was looking something about the Parsha. A nice idea that I was looking before. There could be is interesting to share. Yeah. So in 700 something like that was a Dayan in Poland, and he famous in the name of the Reisha Rav. He was Rabbi in Reisha in Poland, and he was the Dayan there. So the people was calling him the Reisha Rav. So we know further the next Chumash Bamidbar, we go to talk a lot about how they build the Mishkan. Yeah, how they make the Mishkan in the desert, and which the size of everything and what they used to build and everything. So it's interesting, like the Torah, normally, every word is important. We learn everything for each word from the Torah. We learn something. So why the Torah is so long about the Mishkan? There, after the Mishkan, we have the Beit HaMikdash. So actually the Mishkan is not connected to us. So what we can learn from the Mishkan that can bring to our days today? So one of the things that we see in the Mishkan was three things. Then when they made the Mishkan, we call Miksha Echad. What is Miksha Echad? In one big piece of gold, and from this one big piece, they shape and they make one clip, something that they use in the Mishkan. So the first one is the menorah. So the menorah, they took a huge block of gold, and then they make the menorah from this block. It's not like a few pieces that we connect together. So the menorah is Miksha Achat, is one big piece.
Yes, but it's nearly impossible to understand.
Because that Moshe
Because
Rabbeinu,
such a big amount of gold.
Moshe Rabbeinu said the same thing. I don't know how to do. So what happened? HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed to Moshe Rabbeinu how to prepare because he didn't know how to prepare this. Very good.
And even the eruvin on the in
The kruvim.
Kodeshim, that was
Very good. The kruvim also was
for
b'miksha.
one.
Very good.
And this time it's impossible, but everything was above.
That's what the Torah say, that Betzalel, that he made the whole, he have Ruach Elokim, he have a huge mind how to do that because Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know exactly how to do everything. And second, if you think, his people that was in Mitzrayim working with stones, they didn't know how to work in delicate stuff. This is also, I think, that is incredible how they make this work to build the Mishkan and to work with jewelry and to work with gold. There's something normally you need a special hands, delicate hands. But there was avadim, there was slaves in Mitzrayim, and even then they could work with this. It's incredible. So we have two things that was by Miksha Achat by the moment: Kruvim, the menorah, and
the dexel of
the Chatzotzrot.
Why is it?
The shofar.
Silver.
Yeah,
Silver.
they had two. They have from silver, and when it came to the Beit HaMikdash, it was also from this was from gold, and when they came to the Beit HaMikdash, they also have another one for silver. So depends. So this one for gold, they was using to go to the war, to know when to move on. Yeah, they didn't know when to move. Okay, they have the clowns they was moving with, but when they was going to the war, they was taking this Chatzosrot, and they was making a special voice, a special nigun, and they know when to stop, when to continue. Depends the sounds that they was making the Chatzotzrot. So this Reish Harav, it take idea from what is Miksha Echad, one big piece. One big piece normally is something stronger than when I take a few pieces and connect together. Yeah, one piece normally is much stronger to take a few pieces together. So we say we know the menorah is symbolized normally the Torah. Yeah, the Torah, a person that wants to start to learn Torah is not easy. Yeah, we will open a book, a Gemara, and many letters, and we don't know what to start and what the beginning. And the people have to be very hard to understand the Torah. Sometimes it's hard to keep the Torah. Sometimes it's hard situation in the life that I say why you have to do that, and we have questions and we ask ourselves why you're doing that. So a person have to be strong, have to be one big piece. Miksha Achad. You have to stand strong and continue and be strong with yourself. So I say the second thing that we have is the Chatzotzrot. Chatzotzrot was, like we said, is this one that was making the sound to know when to go to the war, when to stop. Is like the leader. A leader also have to know to be strong, to keep the army, to keep the people together, have to be a strong person. Because if this person that everything that has happened is going with the how he's feeling today, and that is not a leader. A leader have to be a strong person. Okay? And the third thing that we learn from the Kruvim, if you translate the word Kruvim, is Keravia, the Gemara say. Keravia means kids, children. So they have the face of kids. The Kruvim, they have the same face of kids. The idea is a person who want to teach his further generation, the next generation, his kids, his son, he's a teacher in the school. He also have to be strong like a leader, a person strong, because if he's not enough strong, the kids make, the kids can laugh of him and make nothing from him. The kids need someone that is strong in his ideas, strong in the way how he's, and then he can build a next generation. So we say, actually, these three things, if you see together, is the three things that one generation being a tzibur. A tzibur, everybody needs a leader, everybody needs a teacher, and everybody needs to be himself a strong person. So he say, the idea is, he wants to say something like that. Every generation have his nisoyons. Yeah, every generation is not easy. For example, in the time of the Rambam make a book. His name, the book is Moreh Nevuchim. Yeah, it's a famous book. The Rambam make the Moreh Nevuchim. It's not easy to, because the language they translate from the Arabic to a different language, so the translations became very hard to understand. But it's a very deep book, and it make about things on the life, like explaining basic stuffs. But why he make this book? Actually, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I'm making another copy, but it's
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
When you finish, it's fine.
It's okay.
Thank you. And why he make this book? Because at the time of the Rambam was a person that called Aristo. He called the Aristo, but I don't know how he's saying in his language. After we go to sit together, because I think it's much easier when I say, like, when I'm reading, they're not just listening, you can see inside, whatever, if you want. But anyways, the Rambam make the book, this Moreh Nevuchim, because the Aristo in this time was a person that people believe so much on him that even if the Rambam said, if he was saying the night there is day, the people was believing him. And he was saying things against the Torah about kfir, many things that is not connect to us. So the Rambam make the Moreh Nevuchim to fight against him. Okay? So the question is, what is, who I am to, but what I see, and probably people that also like you can say to me, that what is the big nisayon, the big things that we have in our generation?
Uitdaging of de nisyon, vooral met 10 barrières.
But what do you think there is so difficult in our generation? Assimilation, okay. But not only between the Yehudim, even in general in the world.
We don't trust the leaders.
We don't trust the leaders.
War,
War, Baruch Hashem, we don't have wars today. We're thinking what happened.
not, but
But I mean today, I think nowadays.
Nowadays.
So if I telling you, like, is idea that I heard, but is I think so for myself is very right, because I see this a lot around me when I go to eat in restaurants, when I go out, everywhere in the world that I go sit in the train, you see the big problem of our generation, I go to explain, is a democratia. What does mean democratia? I mean, like, every day today, everyone, even a person that is not clever, a person that not understand anything, can open his phone and have something that he call Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, and he can say whatever he want to say, even he's not a clever guy. We're not agreeing the same thing. And I don't have the right even to say it's wrong or it's not right. Why? Because the people today don't want to hear the word no. Everything is allowed today. Everything is known limits. You go to a vocation, it's a vocation with known limits. Everything is allowed, all included, always everything is right. You can do everything that you want. Everything is possible today. Everything is you can do. But
except if you live dirty.
Okay, let's come now. I go to come back to the first person of the earth. There is Adam Arishon. Let's imagine Adam Arishon sitting in the Gan Eden. Gan Eden was a place, a beautiful place. Even we think the most beautiful place that we saw in the world. The Gan Eden was the Gan Eden. It's the garden of God. So it's something very beautiful. And Adam Arishon sitting there, reading his newspaper, and he saw the news. They have one tree that is not allowed to touch. So let's imagine.
No, it was allowed to touch. That is the mistake.
Very good. Very good. The mistake of the snake.
So
You're not allowed to eat. Very good. Very good.
But so the slang, said to Gabba, raak die bodem maar aan.
Yeah.
And she did.
Very good.
But she didn't understand.
Very good. Very good. So it's not allowed to eat. So let's imagine we make a party. Someone make a party for his son, for his child, and the doctor say, listen, your child is allergic for this chocolate. Don't give to him this chocolate. So listen, it's a part of my son. So, or I don't put this chocolate in the table, or I put there in the side. Why to put in the middle? So now we ask, Hashem created the world so beautiful, so nice. Why to do this to our party? The party was so nice. Why have to put the tree in the middle of the garden? Like a big tree, and say, don't eat from this one, put there in the side. Was everything so nice?
The reason was that everybody has the toegang to the entry to the tree.
Yes, but
There
put
were no
the
people.
the people not.
Kosovo did it more often, also with Abraham. He always tested the people.
Yeah.
Very good. We always test the people. Let's come to test in 2 seconds. But first, let's understand why Hashem first say everything is allowed. Do whatever you want. Don't put this tree over there. Why need that? Let Adam Arishon work to Hashem, make a nice bracha to a good tree, learn the Torah that Hashem gave to him. Why have to put a tree in the middle saying this is not allowed to eat? Why you need that? It's like to put to a child a big piece of chocolate in the middle of his birthday in the table, and he's not allowed to eat. How is possible? So the answer is wow. Thank you very much. And the answer is very simple. It's like we saw now. That's we talk about what is the big problem in our generation. I think is that a person cannot be fully 100% enjoy something if something is not allowed. The person needs a goal. The person needs something that he have to work on himself to say, until now I can do until here, further I'm not allowed. The person, and when you have this goal and saying, wow, I work on myself, I do something, the person feel much proud of himself. The person can feel better with himself. You understand what I mean? So for example, another example, if I tell someone this is a small room and I say to him, listen, run here around this room 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes you can run. Now I tell the same person, run here 1 hour. The person go out of the mind. You're crazy. This room is very small. So now I take 5 people and tell them, run here 1 hour. It's much crazy. Like in this room, how I can, but now take these 5 people and put a ball here. They can play 2 matches of 45 minutes with no problem. How is possible such a thing? Because the ball is a goal. The ball is a focus, is giving up something to our, why you're running, why we're doing that. Yeah. So when everything is allowed, we don't know what we're doing, where we're going. We can drink everything, we can do everything. But when something is not allowed, something is giving a goal to us. So it's giving up something why we're living for. Yeah. So now we can understand a little bit about our parsha. If we see, I have here the posuk. You bring here in the posuk. Yaakov have a very difficult life. Yeah, and like we see in the parshas, Yaakov didn't have an easy life. His brother tried to kill him a few times. He went to Lavan and he worked 14 years, 7 years for one daughter, and the other 7 years, and he changed his salary and the price, and he make him crazy. And suddenly, after everything, he's already old. He want to go sit in his place, not to do anything. He want to sit and learn Torah like Yaakov is. As HaKadosh Baruch Hu say to him, it's not enough that you're receiving Olam Haba. You want to sit in this world and relax and learn Torah? No, tzaddikim come to this world to work on themselves. What does it mean? Yeah, it's very interesting because Yaakov have a few moments in the life that he have like good times. For example, until he received the brocha, Yaakov, he was sitting in yeshiva from Shem Ve'ever. Yeah, the Torah never mentioned this. We learned everything from the Midrashim. The Torah never said about this yeshiva. Say how was the yeshiva. Yeshiva was nice yeshiva, nice building. Say something. What happening there? The Torah don't say anything. Have a different time of the life of Yaakov Avinu. He also had a good life. When he came to Mitzrayim, and he already 70, the Torah said, Vaychi Yaakov beretz Mitzrayim 17 shana. Yaakov was sitting in Mitzrayim 17 years. 17 shana. That's all. Nothing to say. Yaakov was sitting there and learning Nothing. 5 words, 1 posuk. That's it. But the Torah, we have 3 parshas saying about Yaakov, what happened with him, how to run, and what is the difference? So the Torah wants to tell something else, very interesting. You said about Nisayon. HaKadosh Baruch Hu make a Nisayon to Avraham Avinu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu give Nisayon to each one in this world. Yeah, don't have a person that don't have Nisayon. But what does mean the Nisayon? The Ramban in the Akedah Sitzchok say, the Nisayon, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives something, a Nisayon for a person, is not from the Menaseh, ela la Menuseh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu know exactly who you are. HaKadosh Baruch Hu know exactly the koiches, what you can do and you cannot do. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu want to take out from you this power, this koich that each one have, and take out for the world. For example, let's imagine that HaKadosh Baruch Hu never was giving the Nisayon of Akedat Yitzchak to Avraham Avinu. Yeah? We until today praying and asking to Hashem, help us, b'zchut the Akedah of Avraham Avinu. So we see that b'zchut this Nisayon, b'zchut this that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave to Avraham Avinu, this Nisayon, and Avraham Avinu passed this Nisayon. He give a light to the world. He give a special power to the world that we use until today. Yeah. So that's the Yaakov Avinu wanted to learn and wanted to see it and learn calm. This is easy to him. He wanted to learn. This is very easy to him. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu want to teach us, listen, have times in the life that is not easy. And in these times, the person building himself is a person is growing in the times that is not easy. So that's the idea that we're coming back in the same point. We ask, what is the big nisayon of our generation? The big nisayon that everything is allowed. The Gemara Masechet Shabbat brings in the Daf Chaf Aleph, Eize hu ashir. Normally we know the famous Masechet Avot, Hasamech Bechelko. But the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat says something else. Eize hu ashir, ze sheyesh lo shirutim leyad beito. A person that have a toilet next to his house. Today you ask a person how many toilets you have in your house, you have to stop a few minutes to count. 5, 6, 7. Each one, if it depends on the house that you have, whatever.
The houses of nowadays are totally different.
It's totally, yeah, for sure. But we means like the shefa. What do we have today? We have so much today. Everything is allowed. We don't have like what our generation in the past. They what happened with them. The situation that they passed in their life. They build themselves. So also today, when a person say like, I make a limit to myself, I say no, I'm not going to do something. You're growing, you're working in yourself, and this build a person. This build a person the level that the person is. So for Yaakov Avinu, this was the Nisayon for him, and the Kadosh Baruch Hu take out the whole life that he can take out to the world, and each Jew also. The same thing, when a person have a Nisayon, it's taking out this koichas, this light to the world. And only to finish this idea, in the Matan Torah, the pasuk say, "Vayaru et Elokei Israel." When Am Israel was was standing around the mountain of the Sinai, "Kemaseh livnat hasapiru ke'etzem hashamayim latoar." They was looking to the Torah like the piece of the levena, the piece of this material that was working in Mitzrayim, this piece of we can say a stone, yeah, a type of stone that was working in the Egypt, yeah. So that's what Rashi say. This stone was there in the front of Am Yisrael to remember the times that they was in the Egypt working. Because HaKadosh Baruch was testing them with this type of stone. So the idea is, let's give an example. Yeah, a person that's walking in the street. Yeah, and he going past a huge, let's say a huge building of the Rolex. Yeah, for example, and he walking in the street. And suddenly fall down in his head a piece of a stone. What happened here? Like in my head, so again a second one, and became very angry. Didn't know what to do. So suddenly he looked at the stone, and it's a piece of jewelry. It's a piece very expensive stone. So how the person is going to look for this now? He got to forgot his pain, and now he can take this special stone for himself. Yeah. So he say in the same moment when Am Yisrael was standing in the Har Sinai and they saw the stone that they work in Mitzrayim, in the Egypt, now they understand for what they was working so many years to receive this Torah, to see God, to be connected with Him. And then this piece of stone that in the moment in the past was just a stone, today for them is something to recognize, to remember what HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so many things good He made to him. So that's the idea of the Nisayon. In the moment we don't see, we don't understand. It's like a piece of seed that we put in the ground to grow. In the first moment is die, and after from this is come a tree. So that's also in our life. Sometimes we don't see the results. Could be not go to receive also the results after that we die. We never know. But for sure, it's going to give results. Could be to the next generation, to be to our grandchildren. So that's the idea of the Nisayon. That's the idea of Miksha Achat. A person has to be strong and to know, I'm building myself. I have to be strong, stay strong, and this can build a real person. So that's a small idea that I saw in the parsha. So now we can go to any questions about this? Is clear? Very good.
In the beginning, you had an exemption with a ball.
A ball, yeah.
Yeah. Nowadays, it's a totally different story because if you can play football, you can become a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, today also to make movies in the YouTube, you can be a multi-millionaire.
Oh.
Yeah, if you have follows. Today the people, like I asked someone, like this, have an Instagram, yeah? So you're going down,
Followers.
you press twice, you give a heart, a red heart, and you continues. And if you have a lot of hearts from the people, you become more famous, yeah? So today, the people sitting half an hour in the phone like this, and after you ask, what you saw in the phone half an hour? No idea what to tell you. Yeah, that's why, because full internet, full everything is allowed, do everything, just be okay and just like what he says, everything is okay. Even you don't understand what he's saying. Yeah, that's I tell you, 10 years ago, I remember I came to England to learn in Gateshead. And I was going around sometimes in London.
Only in kosher telephone.
Yeah, but that's good. I can. So
inside, outside.
I sit in the train in London,
yeah,
and I see people with books, reading books. Yeah. Really. In Brazil, we didn't have. Brazil is almost third world country, but I was very nice. People in London like sitting reading books the whole time. Today is only phones. Only phones.
Also,
in 10 years, like I am still young, so I cannot imagine it. What you see today compared to the past.
Yeah, but they also read the book on the phone.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Also.
Everything is on the phone now.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
So Baruch Hashem, in this beginning of this week, we had Achnasat Sefer Torah to the Shul of Kal Hasidim.
Yeah.
They received a Torah. It was very nice, Baruch Hashem. And I was asking myself, I never learned exactly from where is coming the mitzvah of Sefer Torah. Yeah. I knew they have a mitzvah to write down a Sefer Torah. Is the last mitzvah on the Torah in Parashat Vezot HaBracha. Ve'ato kisvu lachem, now write to yourself es ashiro azot, ashira, this song to you. The song is the Torah. Yeah. So you can see in the beginning of the page 1, in the top, we have the pasuk. Ve'ato kisvu lachem es ashiro azois ve'limadu es bnei Israel. And you go to teach Am Yisrael. So from this pasuk, we learn they have a mitzvah to write a Sefer Torah. Okay? Now, I not go to, don't worry, it's many stuff here. I just bring because the page, but in order to go to see everything, and even don't have time to see everything, I go to just to take a few points that are interesting myself, but not only to read, so you can see inside together with me if you want, it can be much interesting.
You don't have to learn the whole thing today because there are a lot of weeks, and I think he will ask you again.
What?
To give a seal.
So yeah, let's see.
If you want, okay. If you can.
What Paul say I do, I'm scary from him.
Right.
He's sitting in the back, giving sweets, Snoopers to the kids. I also want to receive Snoopers. I'm nice with him, don't worry. Have to invest on him. So anyways, so So that's with the first pasuk. I go to take 2 questions and we'll go to work out a little bit on these questions. So let's start. So in the second part of the page, we have Masechet Menachot. Masechet Menachot, we have the line, Amar Rav. Rav say, Alokach Sefer Torah min hashuk, kechotef mitzvah min hashuk. Someone that is going to the shuk, a store, and buy a Sefer Torah ready, made already, finished, is like he chotef mitzvah. It's like he's taking a mitzvah from the shuk, from the store. What does it mean he's taking a mitzvah from the store?
You pay for it.
We pay for this, but what does it mean the idea of taking a mitzvah from the store? We never saw chotef mitzvah. Like if I taking a Snoopy from him and he chotef a sweet from him, but I never saw in a mitzvah this idea chotef mitzvah. So Rashi explained here, but we just go to see Rashi 1 second. Let's continue at the next part. Kitvu, but if you go and write a Sefer Torah, Male alav hakatuv keilu kibla mehar Sinai. Hashem look to you, it's like you're receiving now the Torah from Har Sinai. Okay? So if you go to Rashi, here in the right side, Kechotef mitzvah, you have a line, we have mitzvah aved. Rashi say, you made a mitzvah, very good. But, aval ikosav ave mitzvah yeter tfei, is a higher level of mitzvah. So have a basic mitzvah, that's mean to buy a Sefer Torah. You make a mitzvah, it's okay. But you want to do the best way of the mitzvah, so you have to write to yourself a Sefer Torah. Or if you don't know how to write, you pay to someone to write it special for you. So he's your shaliach. Yeah, we call this. He's doing for you.
You already start writing?
I don't know how to write. That's the problem. We got to see. Let's see. Let's continue. I got a few things for me is everything new because I also just now started to learn this subject. So if you go down, if we have here in the bottom, the next part, we have the alachot kanot shel Rabbeinu Asher. Rabbeinu Asher is the Rosh. We call him Rosh. Rosh, normally, if you open the Gemara, when you finish the normal Gemarot, you have the Rosh. The Rosh was Arish a long time ago, in the 600s, something like that. And he wrote after the Gemara, Psak Halacha, how is the Halacha? It's before the Shulchan Aruch, much before the Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch is based on the Rosh. Actually, we have the Tur, and after the Tur, the Tur was the son of the Rosh. And after the Tur, then we have the Bet Yosef, and the Bet Yosef is the Shulchan Aruch. Okay, so after the Bet Yosef, the Shulchan Aruch, we have today the Mishnah Berurah, Kitzur, Shulchan Aruch. We have many different books. So the Rosh bring here something incredible. We have 3 lines before the end of the right side. Mikan va'elach, the second line from the end to the beginning. Ve'omer ani, he say, I say, devadai mitzvah gdolai lichtov sefer Torah. It's a big mitzvah to write down a sefer Torah. Vegam en lemochro ela lilmod Torah ve'lisa isha. We go to see the Shulchan Aruch. If a shul or a person have a sefer Torah, I'm not allowed to sell the sefer Torah. Just have a good reason. Which reason? A person want to marriage, don't have money to marriage, so he can sell the Sefer Torah to marriage. Okay, I'm not going to go deep on this. I'm just saying from the top. So, and also lilmod Torah. That means a person don't have money to learn Torah. You don't have a book, you don't have anything. So you are allowed to sell your Sefer Torah to buy ways, someone to teach you to learn a Torah, or something like a teacher or something like this. Yeah. So only for these 2 reasons, because Sefer Torah is something very holy. So actually not allowed to sell for something else, only for these 2 specific things. Okay? So, but he continues to say something interesting. The last line I am. Vekach katav Rambam. Rambam say like this. The mitzvah tasei lechol ish Israel lichtov sefer Torah le'atzmo. Have a mitzvah deoraita to each one of us to write down a sefer Torah. Sheneemar, like the pasuk say, ve'ato kisvu lochem es ashiru azois. Like we just saw in the beginning, the first pasuk, that we have to make a sefer Torah from this pasuk. Klomar, kitvu lachem sefer Torah sheyesh bo shira. You have to write a sefer Torah that have the shira, the halachot, the sefer Torah that we have. Ve'efi she'en kotvim sefer Torah parashiot. Normally we don't make one parsha. We have to do the whole sefer Torah. Yeah. Ve'zeu bedorot harishonim. Now it starts something interesting from the Rosh. This one in the past. What does it mean from the past? Shayu kotvim sefer Torah velomdim bo. They was doing Sefer Torah and they was learning from the Sefer Torah. They was opening the Sefer Torah and learning from there. But today, שכותבים ספר תורה ומניחים אותו בבתי כנסת, we're just writing a Sefer Torah, but we live inside of the shul. לקרות בהם ברבים, to make in Monday or Thursday or Shabbos, the קריאה to the people in the minyan. מצווה עשי על כל ישראל, איש מישראל, אשר ידו משגת לכתוב חומשי תורה ומשנה וגמרא ופירושים להגעות בהם ובניו. So he says something very interesting. So he said today, that why are you writing a Sefer Torah? To learn from the Sefer Torah. Everything is okay in the past. There was learning from the Sefer Torah. We had a Sefer Torah. There was opening the Aron HaKodesh, opening and learning from the Sefer Torah. But today, no one do that. We're not learning from the Sefer Torah. We have books. So he said today, you can't mekayim the mitzvah of Ktiva Sefer Torah, buying books.
What time did you write? What time was it that the...
More of 300 years ago. Today there we have books and we have the Torah Shebal Peh, because before the Gemara wasn't allowed to write down Torah Shebal Peh. Was only allowed to Torah Shebichtav. But Torah Shebal Peh was from the rabbi to the Talmud, to the Talmud, to the other Talmud, and going past generations. But after the Churban Beis Hamikdash, Rebbe, he saw they start to forget. Rabbi Meir and saw they start to forget the Torah. Also Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. So the Rabbi Yehuda Nasi start to make the Mishnayot a little bit to people not to forget. And then they saw there's not enough. The people start even to forget so they make the Gemara. And the Gemara, so today we have we are allowed to write down Torah Shebal Peh. So we're learning the whole Torah that we have today from the books. We're not learning from the Sefer Torah. So the same mitzvah, say the Rosh, that we had in the past, for what? To learn. We can do this mitzvah buying a Gemara, buying Sifrei Halachot to learn from this forum. We also made the mitzvah. Okay? For me, it was a big chiddush. We go to see if you go with. Let's go to the Shulchan Aruch, page 3. Page 3, the Shulchan Aruch, he says something similar. He say in the middle, מצוות תעשה על כל איש ישראל לכתוב לו ספר תורה. ואפילו, he say here, הניחו לו אבותיו. The Gemara already, I jumped this Gemara, but I say from outside, the Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin say, if a person received from Yerusha Sefer Torah, you're not making the mitzvah receiving from Yerusha. Okay? So the first question there, let's put this question in a box in the side. We have a stira. In one hand, Rashi say that a person can go to a store and buy a Sefer Torah, right? We just say it's not the best mitzvah, but you can do that. So I'm asking you, what is the difference to buy a Sefer Torah in a store or receive from my father, from Yerusha, a Sefer Torah from him? After he passed away, I receive a Sefer Torah from him. Why am I not doing the mitzvah? What is the difference between go a store and buy or receive from a Yerusha a Sefer Torah? Okay, let's put aside this question. We're coming to this. But the Shulchan Aruch say, אפילו אם ניח לו אבותיו ספר תורה, מצווה לכתוב משלו. ואינו רשאי למוכרו, אפילו יש לו הרבה ספרי קוד, אפילו ספרי תורה. Even if you have a lot of ספרי תורה by you at home, have 3, you're not allowed to sell them if you don't have an important reason, like we saw in the Rosh before. ואפילו, I jumping these brackets, ואפילו למכור ישן כדי לקנות חדש, even to sell an old one to buy a new one, is not to do that. But אבל ללמוד תורה או לישא אישה, like we saw in the Rosh, if you don't have money to someone to teach me how to learn, I am allowed to sell the Sefer Torah to pay my teacher, and also I am allowed to use this money to marry a woman. אם אין לו דבר אחר למכור, if I don't have anything else to sell, I can sell the Sefer Torah for these 2 reasons. But that's the point that I want to get. והוא הדין לצורך פדיון שבויים, מותר למוכרו, ועיין באלו הדינים באור החיים. Okay, I'm going to this line that we have now here. שכר לו ספר לכתוב, ספר תורה, if I paying for a sofer to do for me a ספר תורה, או שקנו והוא היה מוטעה והגיעו, הרי זה כאילו כתבו. If I receive, so if I have two options, say the Remo is for the, normally we, is
It's our
our Nosach, he was in Poland, yeah, in Krakow, he was a rabbi there, and the Rema say that even I pay for a sofer to do for me, the Sefer Torah, or I receive a Sefer Torah pasul from someone, and I, with my hand, making new, I fixing the stuff there, I fixing the words, and now it's kasher, is also mekayim the mitzvah of Ktivat Sefer Torah. Why? Because before wasn't kasher, and now because me is kasher again. So now you made a mitzvah. Okay?
Question.
Yeah.
When you inherit the Sefer Torah,
Yeah.
and you cross out one letter,
Yeah.
and you restore it there, and you did the mitzvah.
That's what he's saying now. Exactly. Exactly. Very good. That's why normally we give to, if someone giving a Sefer Torah to a place, we know that we give letters to the people. So normally who made the last letter? The person that gave the Sefer Torah, because it's like he made the last ois. Now the Sefer Torah is kasher, so it's like you made the Sefer Torah. Yeah, the Sefer working this year, and the guy making one letter in the end. Anyways, okay, because before wasn't kosher. The Sefer Torah is missing one letter. It's not kosher. So now you made the Sefer Torah kosher. But say the Rema. Let's finish. If I go to a store and I ask, you have a Sefer Torah to sell to me ready? Say, yes, I have one, just finish the Sefer Torah. And you didn't make anything to the Sefer Torah. Mitzvah is like you're taking a mitzvah from the store. Minashuk. And you're not making the mitzvah of Ktivat Sefer Torah. So we see here now a new thing. We saw in Rashi that you're making the mitzvah, but it's not the best level in the way how to do the mitzvah. But sadly, the Rema say here that you're not doing the mitzvah at all if you don't do anything. You're just buying from the store ready. Yeah? The Rema give you two ways. Or to give to a soifer, or you have to fix even one word. Then you make the mitzvah. But if you buy a Sefer Torah ready, you're not doing the mitzvah. Okay? So to understand this, I'm going to be the next halakha. There's the last one of this part.
So you have to give the order to the sofer because the Sefer Torah was finished.
Yeah, yeah, that's what he says. I paying for a sofer to do this for me. But if I go in a store and have already a Sefer Torah that is made, you're not making the mitzvah. Lefi the Remo. Yeah, Rashi says making the mitzvah. We go to understand what is the machloikes here. We go to understand. We still have 10 minutes. So let's see. The last halacha say Haidna today mitzvah lichtov chumshei Torah u'Mishnah ve'Gemara u'Pirushehem ve'lo yimachrem im lo lilmod Torah ve'lisa isha. The Shulchan Aruch say today, like we saw in the Rosh, mitzvah to write or to buy books. There is Chamisha Chumshei Torah, or you can buy a Gemara, or any book of Halacha. You also mekayem the mitzvah of Ve'ato Kislev Lochem, a mitzvah of Ktivat Sefer Torah, because we're learning from these books. Okay, so by the moment we saw more or less the basic what we saw in the Gemara and what we saw in the Rosh, we saw now in the Shulchan Aruch. Okay, now we're going to say Aidna. If we have a shach, the shach here in the right side, I have a line. I put a line here. He's saying in Aidna, the second line from the long ones, Katava Prisha. The Prisha, one of the people that explain the Shulchan Aruch. Nira de Achi Komar Rosh. The Rosh, when he said what he said, he actually wanted to say something else. Shamitzvat Aseh. We have a mitzvah from the Torah. Ne'emar davka be'elu velo b'sifrei Torah. He wants to say something incredible, that today we don't have anymore the mitzvah of Ktivas Sefer Torah, because the whole point to Kosev, to make the Sefer Torah, is to learn from the Sefer Torah, okay? But because today we're learning from books, the mitzvah became to learn, to buy books. That's what he's saying. דווקא בימיהם, the third line, דווקא בימיהם שהיו לומדים תורה שבעל פה, שלא מן הכתב, כל אחד על פה היו צריכים ללמוד מספר תורה. Because each one needed to learn from the Sefer Torah, that was opening this Sefer Torah and learning from there, then we had the mitzvah. המתויגת כהלכתה ומדייקת בחסרונות והיתרות. In the time of Rabbi Akiva, the time of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, the time of the people, the long years ago, there was opening a Sefer Torah and learning each word, what I can learn from this word, and comparing words, and making the whole Gemara that we have today. They was learning from where? From the Sefer Torah. But today we don't do that, we learn from the Gemara. Yeah? That's what he's saying here. Aval bezmanenu, today the first line from the small ones, Aval bezmanenu, זה שנעשה לנו היתר לכתוב ספרים דפים דפים, we're allowed to make books, כל אחד בפני עצמו, אם כן למה לנו לזלזל בעקבות ספר תורה בחינם ללמוד מתוכו שלא לצורך? Why to open a ספר תורה and learn from the ספר תורה? We don't need that. It's not a כבוד to ספר תורה to do that. Learn from the book. Yeah? נמצא בדורות הללו שאין לומדים מתוכו ליקה בהם מצוות עשה. We don't have a מצוות עשה עד כאן. That's the words of the cliche. But the Shach say in the end, וכן נראה עיקר כהראש ודלא כבית יוסף. That's we saw, that is, it look like the ראש, but the בית יוסף, that is the שולחן ערוך, והבח שכתבו שדת הראש, ודאי כמצוות עשה בכתיבה ספר תורה, אפילו בזמן הזה. אלא שיש גם מצווה לכתוב חומשי תורה ומשנה וש"ס ופירושיהם. The בית יוסף learned different, the ראש. So the Prishe, he learned the Rosh like that, like we said, that today the mitzvah of Ktivat Sefer Torah is finished, and the whole mitzvah became now what? To make books. The Beit Yosef say, no, that's not what the Rosh wanted to say. The Rosh want to say that today we have also the same mitzvah writing books, but you cannot come and say it's gone one mitzvah. The mitzvah is still, we have the mitzvah, but we add a different way how to do the mitzvah. How is the way? Writing books, buying a Gemara, buying a Chumash. But it's not mean that if I make a Torah, I don't have the mitzvah anymore. For sure I have the mitzvah. Yeah? So they have two ways to understand the Rosh. Okay? So the Prisha understand the Rosh, when he said they have mitzvahs to make books, that means that the whole mitzvah today is only to make books. And when I buying and writing a Sefer Torah, for sure doing a big thing, for sure, is the Torah, everything we learn from there, and you make the Kriya in the Bet HaKnesset with the Sefer Torah, in the Shul with the Sefer Torah, but the mitzvah of Ve'ato Kis Volochem today is to make books. The Bet Yosef say, no, for sure we still have the mitzvah of Ve'ato Kis Volochem, the mitzvah Taseh to write a Sefer Torah. The Rosh only want to add you a new way how to do also this mitzvah, writing books. Is clear? The machloikas? Okay. So that's the machloikas. Okay.
So if you buy a sefer with
Sefer Torah of a Sefer.
with a Jewish book.
Oh, very good.
Jewish, yeah, no,
Very good, very good, very good. Saying good. You say if I buy now book of stories of a rabbi, his life, make a mitzvah. Oh, very good. So let's see if he's here. We go to see, but we go to see the whole mitzvah we buying books is books that are giving you halacha what to do. Like they was learning from the Sefer Torah what to do the halachot. Also, when you're buying books, you're only doing a mix with books that is connect to the halachot. For example, Gemara, a Shulchan Aruch, or anything that explain the Gemara, anything that explain the halacha. But rounding books just about stories or Judaism or history is not you're not doing the mitzvah.
I was in Yerushalayim a few years ago, and there was a library of the age. That is the opposite of the Dakota. Yet on the roof, wonderful panorama on the Kota. I didn't know that. I was walking alone, and then if you are alone, then you go.
You can
go
do
down,
you
do what you want.
Yeah.
And then I was in the library, and there was a book of the Rameau, and I was reading 1 hour in the library because it was very vermoeid.
Tired.
Walking.
Tired.
And there was on the book of the life of the Rambam. Is
Yeah.
that halacha? Is that a good book?
No, that's what he's saying. Books are explaining the way how to do things. That is the same way how they was learning in the Torah. For example, if 1,000 years ago there was opening the Sefer Torah to know how to do such a mitzvah, so today also books that explain to you how to do such a mitzvah.
Same level.
This is the same mitzvah. But if I taking a random book that is just saying stories about someone, that is not the mitzvah.
Not the mitzvah.
Not the mitzvah. No, very good question. They bring. I have to find it. But they bring here. I can show you outside afterwards. But they bring here exactly what you're saying. Okay. Now, the basic idea that we can understand from this that have a machlokes between. Also, we go to see the Minchas Chinuch is actually the page number 5. He bring the Minchas Chinuch say the whole mitzvah of Ktivat Sefer Torah is to write down Sefer Torah. We just said that have a machlokes Rashi and the Rema, right? If I go to a store and have a ready Sefer Torah finished, if I'm making the mitzvah or not, yeah. So Rashi say you're making the mitzvah, but not in the high level, a basic level. And the Rema say you're not making at all the mitzvah, because at the mitzvah you have to write the Sefer Torah. Okay. So the Minchat Chinuch also saying the same way. The Minchat Chinuch he have a sefer called Sefer HaChinuch. He's giving the whole mitzvah,
the Rambam,
following the parashiot of the Torah and bringing you each mitzvah of the Torah. He's called Sefer HaChinuch.
But if the sofer is the owner of the shop,
The
sofer is the owner of the shop.
If the sofer make for you, that is
Yeah, but he
okay.
makes, and
But
then he
yeah,
can finish.
You can finish.
Also another possibility,
Huh?
if they sell a Sefer Torah except with the last word.
Ja.
That's what he said. The last word, then
Uit
it's
dat
okay.
laatste woord, dan is het voor jou.
Yes.
Dan heb je opdracht gegeven.
Ja.
Heb je de mitzvah gedaan?
But I meaning like even not the last word, he finished completely until the lamed on them. Israel, he
Yeah.
finished the lamed, and you buy like this ready. Now I can start to open and read in Shabbat. Lefi, the Rashi is okay.
Even if the chauffeur put the contour of the last letter, so you have to fill it in.
It's also okay. It's also good because it's not
Because
it's
if
not
it's
kosher.
not filled in, the safer is possible.
Yeah.
So
Another question.
Yeah.
Now, you
Yeah.
say if you buy books, it's the same as if you.
that's what the Rosh said. Yeah.
What if you inherit books from your father?
Oh, very good, very good, very good. We're coming, very good, very good. So if this is going to be connect, we first have to understand what is the machlokes between Rashi and the Rema and the Minchat Chinuch say like this, that the mitzvah is to write the Sefer Torah. So have the two ways how to understand the machlokes. The pasuk say, if we saw in the first page, the first line, the pasuk say, "Ve'ato kisvu lochem es ashiro azos." Right now, ve'ato now with ayin is now, ve'ato kisvu lochem. You have to write down et Sefer Torah. So the Remo, the Minchas Chinuch, and the Minchas Chinuch also understand this in the name of the Rambam. Yeah, that the mitzvah is to write a Sefer Torah. Ve'ato kisvu lochem. You have to write a Sefer Torah. The pasuk says explicitly, write a Sefer Torah. So if I'm buying from the store, I'm not doing any mitzvah because I didn't write anything. But if I fix a part of the Sefer Torah, or I writing a Sefer Torah, or someone is making in my name, I pay to him to do, so it's my shaliach. So it's like I am doing, so I'm making the mitzvah. Rashi don't understand like this. Rashi understand, the pasuk says, "Ve'ato kisvu lochem es ashiro azois, ve'lamdo es bnei Israel." What they propose that I doing the kisvu? Why I writing a Sefer Torah? To learn from the Sefer Torah. So Rashi say, the whole mitzvah to write a Sefer Torah is to learn from the Sefer Torah. So even I'm going and I buy a Sefer Torah that is ready, even I didn't write down, but because now I can sit and learn from the Sefer Torah, I make the mitzvah. Okay? So that's the machloikes. So I have a machloikes, the Rema and the Rosh and the Minchat Chinuch and the way how the Minchat Chinuch understand the Rambam. That is not allowed to buy from a store because the mitzvah is to write down a Sefer Torah. Posuk say ve'ato kisvu. You have to write. But the Rashi understand no. The whole mitzvah is to learn, and to learn, I don't have to write the whole thing. I can buy and start to learn. But if that's the explanation, according to Rashi, so why we said if I'm receiving from Yerusha a Sefer Torah, I'm not making the mitzvah. I can learn. I receive a Sefer Torah from my parents. Why I'm not making the mitzvah? What is the difference to go in a store and buy a Sefer Torah that is ready and start to learn? The Rashi say you made the basic mitzvah, then receiving a Sefer Torah from my parents, that is not good. According to everybody, even according to Rashi. You understand my question?
You have to make it postal.
It's not allowed. It's not allowed to make a Sefer Torah.
No, it's not allowed, but you want to do the mitzvah then, but you can't.
Yeah, but even if Rashi, I don't have to, because Rashi say to me, you can go to a store and buy a Sefer Torah that is finished.
Yeah.
Why? Because what the Torah says, we have to write is for what to learn. And now you can learn. So if I receive from my parents a Sefer Torah, why is not good? I can sit and learn. That's the question I have to Rashi. Second question that I go to put in the side, I go to leave in the one of the questions. If women can write a Sefer Torah. Oh,
No.
why?
Yeah, I don't know, but
First, no. And after
no, they have not the obligation.
why not?
I know.
I don't know. But
We
it's
know
not-
a title that women are chayav. Women have to do every mitzvah shelo azman grama.
Yeah.
Sefer Torah mitzvah shazman grama? No, it's the whole life.
So
So women supposed to be chayav.
Yeah.
If the women are chayav, so
Yeah.
they were supposed to be kosher to write a Sefer Torah.
Yes, that's true.
But the answer is no. Why not? So let's answer with the basic answer that most of them give. That, like we said, why are we doing a Sefer Torah? To learn.
Yes.
Women are hired to Talmud Torah, to learn Torah.
No, there's not the
No,
obligation.
they don't have the obligation. So if they don't have obligation to learn, that's what the whole purpose that we're doing the mitzvah Sefer Torah. So they say also not kosher to write the Sefer Torah because you not connect to this mitzvah. So we also cannot do the mitzvah. You understand? The whole reason that we're doing this mitzvah is to learn. If you not connect to the mitzvah, you also cannot do the mitzvah. Okay?
Yeah.
But that's not according to everybody. Have different answers. We're not going to have time now to answer the whole different answers. And about Rashi, let's only finish with this. I go to take other 5 minutes from you, and we finish. We jump to the page number 9. We have the Minchat Asher. Minchat Asher is the Rav Usher Weiss. Rav Usher Weiss.
13th century. I think.
No, today.
Today,
He still live.
still live.
I jump a few pages. We pass the generations.
Usher.
So he was the Rav Usher Weiss. So-
Usher.
So the Rav Usher Weiss have many books. This person is a very clever person, and if you see, I'm not going to go everything. He explained the whole things that we just talked now. Rashi, Rosh, Bet Yosef, everything he bring here. But I want to jump to the end. To the end, I mean to this last part over here. Bemet.
Yeah.
This last paragraph in this page. He say like this. He before ask a question about the Rambam and how if the Rambam is choilek with the Rosh, and he's saying the end like this. ובאמת נראה לעניות דעתי. In my mind, I understand like this. The אי אפשר is impossible שיהיה אדם יוצא ידי חובה בעשיית מצווה פעם אחת בחייו, אלא אם כן גדר המצווה בתוצאתה. Have a few different types of mitzvah. Have mitzvah of brit milah. Okay, have mitzvah of ma'akeh. What is the mitzvah of ma'akeh? In the roof, you have to put something to protect, to know when to fall down. So these mitzvot can be once in Brit Milah is once on the life. Mitzvah of Makeh is one on the life. If you have only one, if you make other buildings for sure, but if you make one house and you're living in this house, you have one mitzvah once in your life to do this mitzvah of Makeh. Why? Because the mitzvah is the result of the act. That means Brit Milah is the result to take out the priya. The mitzvah of Makeh is to take out the danger. Okay, it's the result. But mitzvahs, they're normally are not looking to the result of the mitzvahs. Is mitzvahs like tefillin. It's every day. Because it's a specific mitzvah that depend on time. It's not in the result. Yeah? So he say, כגון מילה מעקה. אבל מצווה שעיקר עניינה בעצם המעשה, that is the action, is to do the mitzvah, is not only the result, בהכרח שיקיימנה בכל יום, כגון קריאת שמע, תפילה, תפילין, או בשבת וחג, אבל לא מצינו מצווה שיש בעצם עשייתה עבודת השם שיקיימנה פעם אחת בשנה בחייו. We never saw any mitzvah that is make only once in the life and you finish, only if the mitzvah is to receive a result of the mitzvah, to protect you, to take out the priya. But this is a mitzvah, there is not only the result is to do a mitzvah, so the mitzvah is going to be like Shabbat every week, like Lulav every year, like Tefillin every day, is continuous, not only once in the life, okay? So I jump in these brackets, ואם כן, so he asking, תמוה, לומד מצווה קריאת ספר תורה, בעצם הכתיבה היא ויוצא בה ספר תורה אף אם נתנה לאחרים. וסברה פשוט בעיניי בטוב כי קצרתי. He say, for sure it's very hard to say, for example, if I write down a ספר תורה, okay, I write the ספר תורה, and now I give to you, present. What happened to me now?
No, I don't think you did the mitzvah.
I lost the mitzvah?
No. I don't know, but no, you did not the mitzvah. If you presented to
You
me,
already did.
What's it?
You did already the mitzvah.
I did the
before.
mitzvah, but after that I give to you, what happened? I lost, I don't mean in the past, okay? For sure you made the mitzvah once. In the 1st of January, I finished to write the Sefer Torah. In the 1st of February, I give to someone, I give to a shul. Okay? Present.
Because the learning from it, you have skipped. Because you gave it to somebody else.
Okay, but if I say the mitzvah is to write a Sefer Torah, and I have to keep this Sefer Torah by me, if I give it to you, so it's not my mitzvah anymore, I finish with the mitzvah.
No. You did what was asked.
Oh, so very good. So that's what he go to say now. So if you go to pay attention, I'll go to read everything. Don't worry, only the first part. אלא נראה בזה עיקר, והנה לכאורה דברי החז"ל בהלכות אלו סותרים זה את זה. Yeah, he bringing our question. In one Gemara we say, אמרו דאפילו הניחו לו אבותיו ספר תורה, מצווה לכתוב משלו. Even my parents left to me a ספר תורה, I'm not making the mitzvah. Yeah, הרי דאינו נפטר במה שיש לו ספר תורה אם לא כתבו. We see that I'm not making the mitzvah if I receive the sefer Torah from somebody else, if I receive from my father. Yeah, but in the other hand, umeidach, in the other side, אמרו במנחות, the Gemara in Menachot say, דהלוקח ספר תורה וכותב מצווה, and Rashi explained, מקיים את המצווה. So it's our question. So you're doing a mitzvah, receiving a sefer Torah ready or not? What is the difference between receiving from my father or buying from the store a sefer Torah that is ready? Then in this case, we're making the mitzvah, but if I'm receiving from my parents, I'm not making the mitzvah. What is the difference? So he answered. Let's jump to he explained on this one. So I go to explain from outside to not take so long. So he said like this. He said the difference is very simple. He said for sure the mitzvah of Ktiva Sefer Torah is to have a Sefer Torah to learn from the Sefer Torah. But he's giving a chidush here. He's saying what the Torah says, Ve'ato kisvu lochem, a Torah wants you to take a part of in this mitzvah. For example, if I have a building, I buy a building now, I go and buy a building, and the building already have a makeh, have already something protected. I made a mitzvah of makeh? No.
You buy the building.
No,
With
You buy the building.
It's not your mitzvah.
Yeah, very good. So
owner.
that's it. Why? Because even the mitzvah betotzah, that to have a makeh is the result. The result I already have, right? So he say the same thing when I receive a sefer Torah from my parents already finished, I didn't make anything. I didn't pay for anything. I didn't involve in the mitzvah. I received already something already finished. Yeah? So I'm not doing the mitzvah. But
because your parents used their money
For
they make for themselves a mitzvah.
yes, but
You're a
because
child.
of that, you get a
Appreciate.
lower Yerusha, and this with this lower Yerusha, you have a part in the Sefer Torah.
Yes, of course.
Even when
We
it's-
never know what's happened with this money. My parents might have said Torah 20 years ago. You know how many go, many back.
Yes,
It's good one, this one.
And maybe it's for centuries in the family. So
It can be for your grandparents already, and you go
Yeah,
from
this
the
for sure.
grandparents to your parents, and then it go to the son.
Yeah.
Must be in the family.
think about this. Tell us the next time.
Okay. The only finish so that is very. I like it to go to think about this, but in the end, you just saying this. But when I go in a store and buy a Sefer Torah that ready, I'm making myself a part of the mitzvah. I'm doing something for the mitzvah, and that's what the Torah, when it says "Ve'atu Kislev," show me that you want to have a part. Even you're doing only one letter, even you're fixing only one letter, or you're going to the store and buy a Sefer Torah, but you're doing something. Just receiving from a gift from someone, you're not showing that you're ready to receive the certificate. You just receive. You're not doing something to receive. That's the whole idea. Like someone that making a Sefer Torah is like receiving from Har Sinai. Why? Because like in Har Sinai, they walk until the mountain of the Sinai, and they make the effort to receive. So also you make an effort to write the Sefer Torah. You make a something. So it's showing that you also was doing the effort to receive the Torah in the Har Sinai. So when you go to the store and buy a Sefer Torah, I'm doing an effort. But when I'm receiving from a Yerusha, I'm not doing anything. I'm just receiving. That's the way how you want to answer the question. I would think about your question. I go to try to find something.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
very much.
Everybody is very satisfied. I do. I know you already.
Keep it here.
I keep it here.
Yeah,
Do you want to?
if you want to continue the same
Yes.
idea, we can continue to different.
Okay.
the
Okay,
rest.
I will have to
Ik
look.
heb hier 10, dat zijn 10 keer ja, dat
Oh,
kan
no.
het zo.
It's
Take
fine.
it. You prefer Monday or Wednesday morning, or no problem? What you want?
Wednesday is better. No,
Wednesday is better. Then have to look. This will be February.
Okay, you send me them. Send me the email. It's fine. Or the WhatsApp.
Yeah. I sent
Okay.
you. Okay, I sent you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
No problem. My pleasure.
22.
Sorry
I
I
sent
make your
you.
life difficult.
Okay, it was a pleasure to have you.
So where I can leave this?
I
Okay.
put it in the cupboard. Yeah, I know.
Interessant, hè?
Ja?
We willen een stukje tekst doen.
Okay, see you later.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
But die verwarming is goed. Ik was me stom in geslagen dat die radiatoren.
I take over. Where is the water?
Ah.
I thought it's finished.
You can finish it now. You can finish it now.